Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my sketchbook, and let's just say this one is really hard to fill because if you can't tell, the sketchbook is longer than a normal sketchbook. Like compared to my third sketchbook, it's almost double the size and like triple the width, so it just took a while to fill, but that means that you guys get to see more of my drawings and I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get started. To start off, on the first page I drew a ballerina, and that was the theme I went with. For the second page here I drew a boy, and I don't know, it's okay, it didn't turn out great. On this page I drew my OC Dahlia, but this isn't what she looks like, and I also spelt her name wrong, so I was really struggling with her design at this moment, but I was trying, and I think that the shading looks okay. On the next page, I drew my OC Char, who I never draw anymore, and I think she actually turned out really good. There's a lot of bleeding though, because this page, I really like this page. There's these metallic-y pens that I used, and I did some pen sketches, and I really like the metallic-y sense of all of those. They like really stand out. And then over here I just swatched some Prisma colors. Here I drew this realistic cupcake, and I think it turned out okay for my first time trying realism. The cupcake part itself probably looks the best in my opinion, and the chocolate. Here my dad got me new Copics, and here's what they look like. They're nib and chisel Copic Classics, and I think that they work really nice, and I'm really grateful that I have some. On this next page, I did a 3-marker challenge with my siblings, and on the top I drew some Pokemon, and then I drew a butterfly. Here I just did some simple sketches, and on the next page I did a DTIYS, and I do not like the bottom one. I've just never liked it. And then the top one I unfortunately did not finish because I was probably in art block at the time. On this next page I did some simple girl sketches, and I drew some Under Armour signs as well because I just wanted to see if I could draw a perfect one, but I really like the girl that I'm pointing at the moment with the band-aid. I think she turned out really cute, but I could not come up with a color scheme for her even when I tried to draw her. On this next page, I was planning out some OC trading cards, but I never got around to finishing any of them. I finished a couple, but none of them turned out exactly how I wanted them to turn out, so I kind of scrapped the idea. I'm willing to come back though and finish them some other time. Here I was planning out a 3-marker challenge, and on the next page, here's what the final design turned out like. And I only used 3 markers, and I'm pretty proud of how the shading turned out when even just using 3 markers to do so. On this next page, I was just planning out an animatic that I never finished. And on the next page, here were just some sketches without faces because I was in a big art block. Here are some of the OC cards I was talking about, and I just didn't like how the style was turning out. I think they looked really young and not great. Here's another animatic that I finished, but I wasn't really proud of, but I'll link it down below if you want to watch it. This next page was actually one of my favorite drawings at the time. I just finished watching Luca, and so I drew myself as half Luca, half myself. And I was really proud of how the drawing turned out at the time, and I really like how you can just see both sides, and the shading was really nice, and I still really like this drawing. After getting done with the Luca drawing, I was really inspired, and I really liked coloring, so I drew some aesthetics as girls, and I really like how the Indian grunge one turned out because those two were my favorite of the 3. On the next page, I just drew my OC Sama Greenfield before I gave her a upgrade, like a makeover, and I think her new design is a lot better. Again, I drew Sama and just planning out some ideas on the left. Here I did a random OC challenge, and I actually really like how it was turning out, but I never got around to finish it, even though I probably should have. On this page, I was planning out this like movie poster type thing, of my OCs, the corrupted, but I really hate how it was turning out, and I was really not proud of my style at the time. Here I did this like lineless style that I'm pointing out, and then I also just did a quote and some little doodles, and I really like this page. On this next page, I drew Anne from Amphibia, and I really like how it turned out. I really like that show too. And then just some random eye that I found a tutorial on. For this next page, I planned out an animatic, which I actually finished, so if you want to watch it, you can. I'll link it down below and you can watch it. It just didn't turn out like how I sketched it out to be though. Here I did a Meet the Artist, which I never filmed, but I did it anyway. I recently at the time just got highlights in my hair, so I was really obsessed with drawing those. And those are some of the things I like and dislike if you want to pause to read them. This is kind of what I look like though, and I had all those anklets, and I even have the shirt that I was wearing and the jeans. And I thought I would show you the shirt because I thought it turned out pretty similar, and I was pretty proud of how the whole thing turned out. I think the colors looked really good together, and I really want to do this digitally and post it. On the left side, my sister drew a mermaid, and so on the right side, I redrew it in my style, but I never finished. Here again, I was planning on an animatic, but I never seemed to finish it. Here, I was really mad at the time, so I took it out of my sketchbook and scribbled everywhere, which honestly helped my anger. And on the right side, I was designing some profile pictures, and I never used any of those, and I actually used a sketch later. Here, I signed up for an animation map, but then I didn't like how it was turning out, and I didn't like the owner, so I quit. Here were some random sketches with the purple colored pencil. I really like that one that I was pointing at in the bottom left, and the volleyball one is also really cute. Here's another random purple sketch. I was really obsessed with the purple colored pencil at the time, so I was just using it everywhere. Here my sister did a Meet the Artist, and she drew me but spelled May wrong, but that's okay. And then here were just some random purple sketches as well. Here is actually one of my favorite pages, which is surprising, but I drew these 3 girls, which actually really turned out good, and I made this one digitally, and I'll put it up. And on the right side, I drew a couple guys, and both of them are my OCs, or at least look like my OCs, and I think this page just turned out really clean, and I like all the drawings except the little furry at the top. On this page, I was planning out my OC voice claims video, and I was just really not proud of how the drawings turned out in that video. I did them really rushed, so I really wanted to redo that video, even though I think the voices matched. On this page, I just did some little thumbnails of 2 characters that I'm going to draw on the next page. When drawing this next page, I was watching a stream of Sage's where she was making 2 elf OCs, so I made 2 of my own, and I had a backstory for them, but I kind of forgot about it, and I didn't really keep them as the OCs, more just characters I drew for fun. Here's another animatic that I never finished, and here I drew my 2 OCs, and then on the right side, I was doing some social studies. Here were just some random sketches, and on the left I drew my OCs, and on the right I drew a couple of my OCs, and then I also just drew some random character design. On this page I did a OC character design layout, but I really disliked how my OC herself turned out. I like the angel wing and the portal, but I just do not like the character herself. Here's another animatic that I never finished. This page I actually really liked how it turned out. It was this highlighter sketch page, and I really like how the colors look together, and I'm just really proud of the clutterness of it. Here was another animatic that I really want to do. I've just not had time to do, and I have not started it. On this page I drew some of my friends, and then I also just did some hand studies and some life studies. On this next page, I gave my OC a redesign, and I tried to make her a bit more realistic and gave her some more interesting traits that made her stand out a bit more from some of my other OCs and some normal OCs. On this page, I was listening to the radio, and I drew some songs as different characters, and so here's just some of the characters I did. On this page, it was October, so it was Halloween season, and I drew some different Halloween things, and then I also drew my persona, and in case you can't tell, that's my profile picture, and I'll put my profile picture up. On this page I did some pen sketches, and I just tested out some new colors, and then on the right side I did a little portrait study. On these next pages I was really into women's rights movements, so I drew a couple little designs that stood up for women's rights. Here again, for the 100th time, I tried to plan out OC cards, but I didn't like how they turned out. And then on the right, I also did the thing where if you turn the lights different colors, it'll change designs. Here I was using some paint, and I really like how the top one on the left turned out, but I did not like the other 2. Here I used some highlighters and I was drawing, and then on the left that was a drawing my sister did, but I did Huevember, but just a little bit early in October. This next page is actually one of my favorite pages. I really like how the colors look in real life and they blend really nicely together, and it just looks really clean and filled and makes me happy. This next page were some of my favorite sketches of the sketchbook, and I was just writing a lot and filling in the empty spaces with some jokes and stuff, and I was also sick at this time. Turning the page, here I started drawing out some of my OCs, and these are Aiko and Dahlia, two of my female OCs in my store. And I got really inspired to draw my other OCs, so here I drew Henry and Addison. And then, when you turn the page, I also drew Zach and Connor, and these are all of my OCs from my corrupted universe. If you would like to read my story, you can find it linked in the description, and I also have a playlist with all of my videos about my OC world. On this page, I did some DTIYS's, and I really like how the one on the left turned out, and I'm not too proud of the one on the right. On the next page, I wanted some redemption at my Dahlia character sheet, so I drew it again, and I really like how the character turned out this time, and I'm really proud of the improvement between my styles, because if I flip back to my old page, the character just looked really still and lifeless, and I think I shaded the new one a lot better than before. On this page was my birthday, so I just drew these random characters really quickly because I wanted to spend time with my family. And then on the right side, I got a skin tone pack for my birthday, and I was just testing some of the colors out and how I could shade them. On this next page, I drew my OC Sama, or her nickname is Traffic Cone, and with her new design, I think she just looks a lot better and just a lot more eye-catching. Here it was about Christmas time, so I was just drawing these two elf designs. On this next page, I got really into bullet journaling, so I ended up just using this page as almost a palette for my watercolors. And if you guys are interested in bullet journaling, you can comment down below if you want me to make a bullet journaling tour or ever post a bullet journaling video. On this next page, I was working on a fashion meme with your guys' OCs, and that will be out soon. And then on the right side, I was drawing a new OC that I was designing who is friends with my OC Traffic Cone. Here I drew those two together, and I think their designs really complement each other. And on the right side, I drew my OC Zoya, who I kind of forgot about. And then on the last page, I just drew this little character, and I was kind of done with my sketchbook and really just wanted to start a new one. So then in this pocket, here were all of my failed OC card designs. So here was Shar, who I just thought turned out really bad, and I did not like it whatsoever. But when you flipped it over, it just gave a little personality and intelligence, bravery, and kindness, and I think that those actually turned out really nice, and it gave me a little bit more information about my OCs. The next one I did was Addison, who actually does not look like this at all. She actually looks like this, but I think that it just shows how much I've improved her character design, and I just did not like how this turned out at all. And that is not her nickname in the top left, nor is that like her symbol. Here is my old design of Traffic Cone, and again, I just don't think I like the design at all whatsoever. And finally, this was a newer one. This is my OC Aiko, and I do like this design better for the cards, but then again, this took so long and I didn't want to make 6 of these, nor did I really love the design. And that is currently all for my sketchbook, and again, if you guys want to see some of my bullet journaling stuff, I can show you in a different video. Just tell me if you would like to see that. Anyway, thank you for watching this, and see you next time. Bye!